Hey, what's up guys, aarava here, and welcome back to another episode of my F1 23 My Team Career Mode. This is episode number 82 today for the Italian Grand Prix in Season 5. If you guys did miss the previous one at Portimao, then be sure to go check that one out before you see this one, as we had a rather comical glitch in the game where the car got vaulted up into the air and I was given a penalty for that. And that was in the context of a difficult race for us as a team, both myself and Pourchaire down the order, and a great day for Aston Martin, who got a 1-2 with Tsunoda, taking his second win of the season. But we've just got to regroup, kind of forget that race, and go again, and hopefully perform well at the second Italian Grand Prix of the season. Of course, we had Imola earlier in the year, and considering that our team is partnered with Lamborghini, an Italian manufacturer, for this second Italian Grand Prix, we are dressing up for the occasion in a very special and very different one-off livery for this Italian Grand Prix. It is a very different look with a base of dark blue, hints of yellow, red, green. It's all over the place. You might be thinking at the moment I've gone absolutely crazy, but this is a reference and a nod to a retro, old school 1990 livery from the Lola LC90, which was the only car in real life Formula 1 that got a Lamborghini engine on the podium. This car, powered by Lamborghini, got onto the podium third place in the 1990 Japanese Grand Prix. And today we are honouring that bit of history for Lamborghini in Formula 1 in real life, where here in the game we are dressing up for our second Italian Grand Prix of the season. In a season where we've come in as the reigning world champions, drivers and constructors. So we are already the numero uno Italian team, but Ferrari have been having a bit of a resurgence. Verstappen won, just not too long ago at the British Grand Prix. So there might be a bit more of a fight on our hands this time round, but we won in Imola, and can we try and make it 2 for 2? Well, not only is the car going to be a special one-off, my helmet is also going to be a special one-off. We're going back to basics. It's a real vintage style helmet, really simple, just white, little bit of paint on there for number 7. My logo crudely painted on one corner. We've got the Lamborghini and bull etched in on the other side, and a painted Italian flag up the front. And it looks pretty classy. I think a really nice little retro touch for the retro style livery that we also have. And I'm really hoping, like in 1990, we can take this car that has got a similar livery onto the podium here at Monza. But it is going to be tough. We've just come off the back of a 1-2 for Aston Martin Honda, so that was pretty ominous. Obviously myself and Pourchaire didn't help ourselves, both of us having issues with where we were starting. Me, it was the back of the grid, obviously having taken penalty. Pourchaire knocked out in Q2 after another high profile mistake of not going out for that second run, kind of showing a little bit of lack of experience. But he still leads the Drivers' Championship by one measly point, but he still leads it versus Yuki Tsunoda. We're in third place, and now there's a bit of a bigger gulf from me to Tsunoda, and Tsunoda obviously is right on the tail then of our French teammates. So it's going to be a very crucial race for all of us to either build back some momentum or keep it in Tsunoda's case. But Monza is a very unique circuit. It's all about the power and the engine, and that's something we have been strong at. Just call back to Las Vegas, China, all these places where we were going well. To be fair, Aston went very well in China as well, to be fair, but in Las Vegas we definitely had that advantage where we could really compromise on the wings. In China, you can't really do that because there's enough high-speed corners, whereas here, you can really, again, compromise on the wings and just try and maximize the straight line speed. And that's exactly what we're going to try and do today with the Lamborghini engine behind powering us as we go on into Q1. Overcast conditions, almost looked like there was a bit of rain on the circuit as we started the flying lap, because I think we're coming off some rain from free practice, but it's just going to get drier and drier through the day, I think, as the sun slowly comes out. And it's going to be our second flying lap here. That is going to be a decent one for us to get up into P4 at the moment, but as the track evolves, I think there's going to be probably the onus to go for another one, and it's a bit of an odd lap. We go purple first sector. We actually lost the time that we gained in the second sector because I was behind Ricciardo here, and then I kind of gained it back by using Ricciardo to pull me along a little bit just for for a cheeky little tow of about 2/10 to get us up into P10 and get through into the second part of qualifying. Porsche P5, but look at Audi looking pretty strong. Ferrari both up there. Piastri surprisingly in second place for McLaren, and the two Haas cars pretty solid. Aston Martin, well, with Tsunoda P8. I mean, that's not a surprise because he's never really qualified that well. Tsunoda, he's done all his amazing driving in the race conditions, but his teammate really had issues. After I was really impressed by his second place in Portimao last time out, he's been knocked out here in Q1. So maybe that's showing Aston Martin with a bit of a weakness there with the Honda power unit, and maybe it's not as solid as one would have imagined, and kind of alludes to really then they're gaining most of their performance with the chassis and aero, which is impressive in itself, but it means in this race it's going to be maybe tough for them. So that's actually very promising for us and everyone else, really, because it's now more of an open goal without Aston Martin there, because otherwise they would have probably been the favourites in this race. But now I reckon we're the favourites because we do have the engine to match. Obviously, we spent a lot of resources building this fantastic Lamborghini PU in partnership with them, and it's paying dividends at races like this where our rivals maybe just can't match us in terms of that engine power. But who else is looking good here? Well, it's the other Italian team, Ferrari. Russell up there, provisional P1 right now in Q2, Verstappen P5. We go quickest of all at the moment on our that second flying lap that was for us. In the end of it, it's P5, and it's actually Ferrari coming good again with their second runs. Verstappen tops the session. Gasly second, so showing the Audi has a strong power unit for sure. This really is the biggest indication that Aston Martin, Honda, have never actually had that solid a power unit. They've just had a fantastic chassis and aero, because you've got Ferrari power up there in the top 10, both cars. Audi power, Lamborghini, one Mercedes of Bottas. Leclerc's actually had a bit of a blunder, not making it through into the top 10, whereas Bottas has had a very solid P4. Both Haas cars with a Ferrari power unit up in the top 10. So the Ferrari PU is clearly very, very solid. And the Mercedes as well, with one Merc and one McLaren up there as well. And then, of course, us and Audi. So, yeah, definitely maybe showing Aston Martin's one weakness. Only one, really, because in the last few episodes, Tsunoda and Aston Martin have looked bulletproof in terms of how good they've been in these races. So this is maybe kind of needed a little bit for the rest of us not to feel so feeble. So Q3 now is well underway, and this first flying lap, you probably saw there, wasn't too clean, very messy in the first sector in the chicane, losing quite a lot of time going deep. And so the second flying lap, the consecutive lap, this is going to be the real one that we're going to try and gun for the top spots. We're on the lowest fuel possible, literally 0.3 laps of fuel left, so we're bringing the tank right down. It's purple in the first sector, purple in the second, and it's going to be purple all round. It's provisional pole position right now for the Italian Grand Prix, ahead of the Ferrari of Russell, second place. Sainz third, Porsche only P4, but he's got a second run to do as we wait and watch Verstappen go second, and that is how it's going to end, as no one else went any quicker actually, as conditions got more overcast right at the end of the session, so the track got colder and no one really improved. So we are on pole position then for this Italian Grand Prix. Love it, with the special helmet, the livery. Oh, chef's kiss, absolutely what we wanted. But it's close. Verstappen was only 0.06 of a second slower in second place, so they are going to be a threat. They've got two of them as well, because Russell is there in third place. I actually would have wanted Porsche to be on the second row at least to help me fight them, because I'm going to need his help. As much as I want to beat him obviously individually, I need his help if we as a team want to keep this superiority of Lamborghini over Ferrari. So hopefully he can overtake Carlos Sainz very quickly. But for everyone below them in the standings, this is a big opportunity to score big on Aston Martin, Honda potentially. And for us at Lamborghini, this is a good chance to hopefully pull away again a little bit from Aston after feeling the pressure after Portimao. Let's go to the grid for the Grand Prix.
We're back in Italy once again for another round of the Formula One World Championship. And what a great race is in store for us today, here at the oldest circuit on the calendar, which hosted its first race all the way back in 1922. With top speeds up to 215 and an average lap speed of around 155 miles per hour, Monza's reputation as one of the fastest circuits in the sport is well earned. We have 11 corners on this 3.6-mile track, with the best overtaking chance coming into the heavy braking zone of the Turn 1 chicane. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. It's the owner-driver then in pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Sainz, Théo Pourchaire, Fittipaldi, Bottas, Drugovich, Gasly, Albon, Norris, Oscar Piastri, Leclerc, Liam Lawson, Tsunoda, Ocon, Mick Schumacher, Perez, Joe, Ricciardo, Magnussen and Logan Sargent. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. And with me today, of course, is Anthony Davidson. We should talk about Williams. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
Well, half the job is done on this race weekend. Pole position, can't ask for much more apart from, maybe wanting Pourchaire there up on the second row, like I said, but hopefully he can get a good getaway off the start. But yeah, we won the Imola GP earlier in the season versus a very quick Yuki Tsunoda having to do a lot of defensive work. And today, well, it might be an even tougher cookie because we've got Max Verstappen there in second place. In the series, in this game, he hasn't been that great, but he's starting to find his old form from season 1 and from the form he has in real life, of course. So I think we're going to have some stiff competition. We've gone for the soft compound of tyre compared to everyone else because we saved a set of softs. So this will hopefully be an advantage for us at the start of this Grand Prix versus everyone else going for mediums. I'm just hoping we can do some justice for this special helmet and livery combination because in 1990 Lamborghini got onto the podium in real life Formula 1. Today we're hoping to emulate that and do more and potentially get our second Italian Grand Prix win of the season and really solidify Lamborghini as the #1 Italian team now in Formula 1 as we go to 5 red lights, and we're underway for the Italian Grand Prix. The Tifosi screaming hard and vying for Verstappen and Russell to attack us, but we've had a fantastic getaway. We go defensive to the inside, cut across just a little bit to defend Verstappen's lunge round the outside, and instead the Dutchman actually compromises his racing line so much so that Russell is into second place. It's 2-3 still for Ferrari. Pourchaire, though, has had a good start. He's up to P4. Sainz has gone backwards by 2 positions to P6, but the pressure is on now to maintain first place, and the pressure is making me make one small mistake already in the first sector there, dipping a tyre into the gravel. And although we do have the soft compound tyre, the way Monza is on this game, the slipstream is so powerful. Being in first is pretty much just a nervous wreck of a position to be in because of this slipstream. It's so powerful. Russell through on the inside, but there goes Max Verstappen into the lead of the Grand Prix. We've had an issue on the curb. Russell has really flustered us and he's jumped over the curb. He's hit us off into the runoff area, and all of a sudden Verstappen has bolted by a second in the lead. We've now got company in the form of still the Ferrari of Russell, but oh my god, Sainz and Drugovich come in. Everyone is just bullying me out of space here. And all of a sudden, we've gone from P1 down to P10 on the opening lap. Mamma mia, what has happened there? That was a calamity of a section here at Monza, and all started with Russell applying the pressure. And to be fair, Russell's earning the #1 teammate status right now. He's done Verstappen a solid as he's now up into the lead by a second, already broken that DRS that will come through next lap as we look to re-overtake Felipe Drugovich, being very aggressive here because I am still a bit irked with the way Drugovich and Sainz pinched me out at Parabolica. They both pincered me from either side, and Drugovich especially got very close to taking off my front wing. But oh my god, if that was a plan by Ferrari to put me under pressure from either side, it worked completely because I was so occupied trying to defend Russell and give him space that Verstappen just sailed on through. Then obviously I didn't help myself with a mistake on the curb that took us back into Russell's path. And here's a replay of that. So Verstappen was actually very aggressive on his own teammate, looking to go down the inside there. That maybe gave Russell the push along. And then this all just seems like a great choreography. I'm pretty sure Ferrari planned for both of them to attack me at the same time because it's worked. Verstappen sailed through, Russell cut the curb. That was me having my own mistake on the exit curb. But then Russell comes back again, cutting a second curb to vault up in the air momentarily and hit my car. And this is from the off-board cameras, so you can see the issue I have there. That was my mistake, going left off the curb. But then look at that, the Ferrari literally jumps up in the air and Russell hits me off onto the runoff area. So he really was the best teammate in the world, helping out Verstappen, because now we cut back to the live action. Pourchaire has just got into second place. It's 3 wide between Russell, him and the Haas momentarily. Fittipaldi and Bottas in there as well. But all the while Verstappen is nearly, well, now he is over 3 seconds ahead in P1, and it's now a 1-2 for Ferrari. All of a sudden Russell has made a double or triple overtake really in that kind of whole section, and it's a 1-2. The Tifosi are going to be loving this at Monza, and we're getting undone. It's the special livery curse. Is it coming to bite us here? You know, a lot of times in the game series I've had some good luck with one-off liveries, but in real life a lot of the time one-off liveries spells disaster class. Is it going to be the same for us, or can we still make something of this Grand Prix? We're taking it very easy into turn 1. Oh my god, look at that. That's why. That's exactly why I'm taking it easy. Bottas making contact with Russell, who's on his own attacking Pourchaire. That could have been nasty. Thankfully it wasn't. We've made the double overtake. The patience is working for us, and now we're swiping across to the right for another double overtake. 2 double overtakes in one, but then Pourchaire comes back at us with a bit of a cheeky elbow out and a squeeze, you know. I mean, I feel like I was doing Pourchaire a favour overtaking all of them, because I could have given him some slipstream, but no, he repays the favour by squeezing me out. So even though we're trying to work as a team to maybe get away from these guys and maybe chase after Verstappen, it's very clear that Pourchaire still wants to have the individual fight to maintain superiority in the championship. But at the moment, he's looking a bit vulnerable, because any car on this circuit that doesn't have DRS is vulnerable. So you've either got to do what Verstappen's doing and bolt away and break DRS, or you're just screwed. Because if you're in the lead of a train and you're the one getting slipstreamed, you're always going to get overtaken at some point, and it's up to you then to re-overtake. Exactly like Pourchaire is doing back to me right now as he gets back into second place. It's 3 wide behind us. Russell v Gasly v Bottas, and Pourchaire makes a real big lunge down the inside of turn 1. He blocks us. I was trying to go for a little bit of a switch or try and just keep it on the inside, and Pourchaire has wagged the rear end out and blocked us there. But behind, Gasly has got into the fight then. He wasn't even in the top 5 obviously at the start of the race, so he's had a very good couple of laps in this first stint to recover and get into that fight as we re-overtake Pourchaire for a second time then. But, you know, as is the case here at Monza, if you can't break DRS, you are just going to have to once again have company of the car you just overtook, and Pourchaire trying to get down the inside unsuccessfully, and that bit of defense for me unfortunately has brought now Russell into the fold. This is the opposite of what I wanted. If Pourchaire just worked with me, we could have maybe tried to slipstream each other and try to tactically maybe gain on Verstappen. Instead, the Dutchman has a 10-second lead now going on to lap 8. This is ridiculous, and now Pourchaire is under massive pressure from Gasly, from Russell. It's going to be 3 wide nearly. Can the Ferrari go around the outside? No, Pourchaire slams the doors shut, and he's now got to concentrate on the Audi, who maybe gets up into 3rd place. All of a sudden, Pierre Gasly could be a real problem for us, you know, not just because of who he is in the context of us in this series, because he genuinely looks so quick. And unlike his teammate though, he's down to P9. What happened to Sainz? And Tsunoda, having been knocked out in Q2, is recovering. He's up to P7 now on lap 12. So he is slowly but surely getting back into this race. He is, just like he does every single race so far in this season. He's an overtaking machine, Tsunoda is. But on lap 12, we have brought down the gap to Verstappen from 10 seconds to 7.9, but the gap is still there. And for poor Chair, well, it's a very different story. He's now too busy fighting Pierre Gasly. And to say that I was mocking Sainz for what happened to his pace, he's now all of a sudden back to P3. So the top 10 or the 8 cars after me and Verstappen clearly have just been swapping with each other, left, right, left, right, left, right, to the point where Sainz yo-yoed from P9 up to P3. Poor Chair down to P5, Bottas down to P8 now, as on the end of lap 12, Verstappen continues on, and I come in for a pit stop. So we brought the gap down to about 7.8 at a push, maybe. So, yeah, the progress we were making was halting a little bit, so I decided we'll come in a little bit earlier. To be fair, remember, we're on the soft compound compared to their medium, so we were always going to come in earlier, but hopefully we can get a good undercut going on, obviously, a set of hard tyres. There's no! You're kidding me! The red flag is out! It's Oscar Piastri! He's crashed at Parabolica! Oh! For the third time this season, I have been screwed over by the timing of a red flag. Bahrain, Spain, and now Monza. I have been either making a pit stop or have just come out the pits and the red flag has come out. I can't believe it. My luck with red flags this season, it's been ridiculously bad. Shocking. So everyone now is going to get a free pit stop apart from me. We're down to P10 now on the restart as we go to 5 red lights. Verstappen on pole position. And we're underway for the second time in Monza. We've got a face full of smoke. It's Tsunoda. Yuki Tsunoda, having won the last Grand Prix, was doing really well in the first stint. He's had an engine failure off the 5 red lights. That's mad. Meanwhile, we've had a very messy run down to turn 1. I was doing a little bit of ping pong with Fittipaldi and Liam Lawson. I'm checking for any damage to our front wing. Thankfully, there's not. But now, I was already angry anyway. But now I've got the real red mist descending in the cockpit as I'm furious with that start then. As Fittipaldi, I felt, was a little bit harsh on me with how he was defending into turn 1. So we make very quick and aggressive work of him and Lawson to get up into P7. And once again now, we're chasing a pack of cars where Verstappen can get away from us. But this is Tsunoda then, on board, looking back towards that plume of smoke. What a disaster that is. He's been the man of the hour, the man of the last 5 episodes. He doesn't deserve that, but it's the way Formula 1 is. It's very cruel at times, and that's a really untimely engine failure for Tsunoda. Meanwhile, look at the electric start from Pierre Gasly. Hang on a minute. I didn't even know. I'd know this was a thing. Verstappen's lost the lead of the race. Verstappen is down to 2nd place. Gasly is in 1st place. Sainz was fighting Pourchaire for 3rd. Pourchaire's got into 3rd place. Sainz down to 4th, but the 2 Audis now are looking like a very strong pairing in the top 4 of this race. But as we go back to the live action on the same lap 15 that we got underway from for the 2nd time in this race, Verstappen is already looking to repass the Frenchman. He goes round the outside. This will be a really impressive overtake from the Ferrari. They're still at it, neck and neck, nearly on the exit. The Audi just edges ahead, but surely the Ferrari now is going to get that 2nd bite at the cherry, that 2nd chance to the slipstream, and Verstappen does, and he's going to now move across and defend the inside there. Really well defended. He's going to pinch Gasly in, get the exit, and the Ferrari is going to lead at Monza once again, and the Tifosi can once again cheer loudly and proudly. But Pourchaire in 3rd place. He did well to overtake Sainz, and I think he's got a bit of pace about him on this new set of hard tyres, and he's actually going to go and try and get 2nd place. Could this all of a sudden turn into maybe our worst nightmare scenario, let alone us not being up there to fight Verstappen? Pourchaire might go and chase our after Verstappen and battle for the win. That would be really the opposite of what I'm looking for as an individual. Obviously, for the team, it would still be great to beat Ferrari in their home turf, as Porsche is now, oh, he's gone wide. He was side by side with Sainz, but Gasly's dived down the inside, and the Audis have taken him really wide and have really stuck it to him, because he's now under pressure from Bottas. But look at that whole gaggle of cars there, and we are now joining that gaggle as we're now right up behind Russell, and we're looking to make a very audacious move to the inside for turn 2. It's going to be 3 overtakes maybe for 1, and now we get the power down. All the battery use in the world to power past Porsche, to power past Carlos Sainz. We have just done 5 overtakes in 1 sector. Have that red flag. Not today. I'm single-handedly clawing back the position we should have at least minimum been in if the red flag didn't come out. And now we're getting our head down and pushing like a stabbed rat. We've set a purple first sector, green in the second. We've broken DRS from Porsche, and we are gunning for Max Verstappen. The Tifosi, Ferrari, Verstappen, they might have been feeling pretty damn good about themselves, but now we have arrived and we are on the way, Verstappen, as we set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. And we've only got 1 position in sight. Behind us, there's plenty of fighting going on, but the gap is coming down to Verstappen. 1.2 now on lap 20, 7 laps to go. Porsche in 3rd place. Pretty good for us as a team as well. If we got a double podium, that would be an even bigger thing. If Porsche could just at least hold P3. If I got P1, that would be amazing stuff. But, you know, we've still got Sainz very close behind. Bottas and Leclerc now are very close. So Leclerc was outside the top 10 for most of this race. Remember, he got knocked out in Q2. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, he's actually found his way up like 4 or 5 positions. Now just behind his teammate, as we see Gasly has majorly fallen off. The 2 Audis, very weird kind of, you know, difference in pace at certain points of the race. You know, at one point Gasly's looking better, now it's Sainz. Gasly's now falling away, just like Sainz did earlier. And Russell also, by the way, has really fallen away as he's down to P9. Meanwhile, his teammate is still here in 1st place, but lap 21, we're now right up behind Verstappen. But we've got to make sure we get this done cleanly, and we need to be wary, because we know how aggressive Verstappen can be, and probably more so in this scenario, driving for Ferrari at their home race. He is going to be desperate to try and keep this P1, and he is pulling out all the stops there. A nice squeeze in the middle of the brake zone, just to spook me off the road a little bit and make sure I don't keep it committed to the inside for that chicane. I think we're going to have to try and play this very tactically, maybe save ERS and stay behind him and wait for the right opportunity, because Verstappen is going to pull out all the stops to defend this position to try and get a 2nd win of the season for Ferrari, and a historic one at Monza, of course, after so many races of not even getting on the podium really for Ferrari. They've had a dismal, you know, run of races in this entire series. This is the first time they've tasted success this season. Meanwhile, Leclerc has just overtaken his teammate and Sainz for 3rd place. He was outside the top 10, like I said, for most of this race. And now all of a sudden, he's in 3rd. And I think it's because he's chosen to go on mediums. He's the only man off the red flag that went to medium tyres. So yeah, fair play to Leclerc, fair play to Mercedes. They've pulled out a real blinder there with the strategy. Meanwhile, lap 24, we're gaining, we're pulling out to the outside. We now jockey for position into turn 1. Verstappen tries to pinch us into the curb, and we're not having any of it. We keep our foot in, we keep our wits about us, and we're actually going to out-traction the Dutchman to get into P1, but it was a real nice try. I knew what Verstappen was doing. He was trying to go deep on purpose to try and completely squeeze me off the road or onto the sleeping policeman, but we just kept it in, lifted off a little bit just to keep our nose in, and now we're into P1. But for how much longer? Not very, because on the end of lap 24, Verstappen is through. But you'll notice, on purpose, I'm not using the battery as we're side by side now through Parabolica, because I want to use more battery on this straight to pull away. We've actually got DRS because we were behind him detection point, so that was 300 IQ to use DRS and battery now to stay ahead in P1. And this is what you have to do when you're going up against an in-form Max Verstappen. You know, finally in this series, he's actually looking like himself, like in real life. And when he's like that, he's relentless because Verstappen comes at us again through into Ascari. Oh, very close. We gave Verstappen just enough room. That was really good racing. We were inches away from making contact, but we kept it all both within the white lines. But the Ferrari, when it has DRS, it's very quick, because on that straight, I was deploying battery the entire time, and the Ferrari still caught me. So that's why I've been playing very tactically, saving battery, even trying to get DRS back off him to then re-overtake him, because with DRS, doesn't matter how much battery I have, if he gets a run, he gets a run. Just like now, as we have to go full-on defensive, Verstappen outbrakes me. He's the last of the late breakers, but we are the switchback king, remember? And we switchback him on the exit to get back into P1. But this is turning into an absolutely biblical scenes of a battle versus Verstappen. So much so, we've been fighting each other so much that now look at that. On the last lap of the Grand Prix, this is Leclerc is now 3/10 behind Verstappen. It could be a three-way fight going into this last lap. Meanwhile, Russell has fallen all the way down to P10. Porsche down to 6. So a lot of people have fallen off the cliff on this last stint, but Verstappen and Leclerc very much haven't. Here we are. It's the last lap of the Grand Prix into the last sector. We're using all the battery, but Verstappen has DRS. He's through on the outside, but he's gone deep. He's gone off circuit. The Ferrari makes a mistake at the most crucial moment. Verstappen is cracked under pressure. We held our inside line. We kept it tight and tidy, and Verstappen has gone deep and off circuit, and we have successfully defended the Ferrari. The Tifosi will be fuming, but there's adulation for us at Lamborghini because it's 2 out of 2 wins for the Italian Grand Prix, and this one feels even better doing it with this special livery and helmet, the Italian flag on ours, and this iconic livery now, I think you can say. 1990, they got a podium. 2027, they win 2 Italian Grand Prix.
Well, what a thrilling end to an incredible Grand Prix weekend. Our top 3 finishers should be incredibly happy with what they were able to achieve out there today.
It is a very, very sweet victory, this, and this, for the first time, is going to get us up into the lead of the Drivers' Championship for the very first time. That is mad. And it's game on. We're in crunch time. We're in the last third of the season, and it's all to play for between myself and Porsche. Sonoda had a bit of an off one, but he'll come back, I'm sure, and it's game on with Ferrari because they look genuinely here to stay and be quick. Guys, if you have enjoyed it, hit the like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. And if you're around here, then do get subscribed for weekly Formula 1 content. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.